Good morning, everyone. Good morning. I want to welcome you all to the MEDEX Kona Class 1 graduation. Would you please join me, stand in welcoming the Kona Class 1? Thank you. You may be seated. Looks like we may need some room over here. Graduates, if there's not enough seating there, there's more over here. Great. Thank you, Kumu, Kiala, Chang, for your welcome blessing. I want to welcome everyone to the graduation ceremony. You have an agenda, and I will be reviewing that shortly. But before we do that, we're going to be flexing a little bit because we're fortunate to have with us here today the current Lieutenant Governor for the state of Hawaii, Dr. Josh Green, and he's got a tight itinerary. So we're going to allow him to speak first, and then we'll move on with the rest of the graduation ceremony. So, Lieutenant Governor Green.
Aloha. Thank you for being here today. First, let me say, I'm so pleased. I am so excited to see you guys graduating. It is extraordinary, and we're going to just talk a little history here in a moment, but this day is about you. It's good to see old friends. I used to borrow his truck when I was running for lieutenant governor back in the day. Good to see you, Andrew. And I want to say thank you to Medex and to Terry and to all the leadership from UW. It's difficult to imagine how hard it is to establish a strong program, a thoughtful program from afar. A lot of times we in Hawaii, we feel that we can try to do everything here internally without outside help. And the truth is we all have to help each other. So I'm very grateful to them. Let's give them a round of applause for participating, helping us with our healthcare crisis. I'd also be remiss if I didn't say a special thanks to one of my dearest friends, Dr. Scott Miskovich, who, when we conceived this with Betty many years ago, when we thought that this was a way to help us deal with the healthcare crisis that we've been studying so closely, it's really wonderful to see here 5 or 6 years later that it's actually come to fruition and we have health professionals in front of us. Let's give him a round of applause. So, as I say mahalo to the leadership that decided to make this happen, you guys, and to you students who've decided to devote your lives to healthcare, let me say this. We are so short in the state of Hawaii on healthcare on any given day that 20 years ago, almost to the day, in 2002, I was 2 years into my practice here on the Big Island with the National Health Service Corps. I was covering from Ka'u, my clinic out down in Na'alehu. It was the Kona Brewfest weekend, right here. This is where we have the Brewfest, for those of you guys who are from town and who know it. I was covering the hospice system for the entirety of the southern and Kona part because we had no doctor, we had no PA, we had no nurse practitioner to cover those who needed our help with hospice care. I had a flip phone, as horrible as that was, and I couldn't hear anything because of the commotion at the Brewfest. And I had to walk out right here behind us into the ocean where I could hear well enough and get reception to help someone through their medical needs at the end stage of their life who had an ovarian cancer. That's how short we often are on the Big Island and here in Hawaii. We have to leave a Brewfest, go out into the middle of the ocean, flip the phone open, and deliver health care from afar. That's how desperate it can be. So when we say that we need you to train and to become healthcare members and leaders in our community, we truly mean it. It helps save people's lives. It helps replace the aging doctors that you see in front of you. Some people are going to run for governor and leave medicine, and we're going to need you guys to replace them, okay? So first, let me say this. Everyone has a slightly different story when they come into healthcare. I was lucky enough to be asked to come and serve on the Big Island with the National Health Service, which was in 2000, and in those years, we did not have a single healthcare professional down in Ka'u for 1,000 square miles. And so coming from far away, which happens for many of us, to come and plant our roots here in the islands and sometimes go and sometimes stay, we see the value. We see the value of training our local young top students. We see the value in producing a healthcare system for tomorrow. And so I'm grateful to you because that can't be the only system that we have, the National Health Service. We need all of these different experts to begin to refill and replenish our healthcare system. So I spent 4 years in the health corps and then gradually moved to the emergency room and continued to provide care. And I saw one after another individual come and go. In the 4 short years that I was there in Ka'u, 18 out of the 19 providers, everyone but me, came and went and found a different job somewhere in the islands or back on the mainland. So when I was lucky enough to come to Kona, I met another wonderful person, a series of people, a guy named John Buckstead and others that decided we would start a community health center. And so I want to recognize a gentleman here in our midst. I saw Richard Taft. Richard, can you put your hand up? Let's give him a round of applause. There he is. So not unlike what we did to create Medex and the program here in Kona, we started a health center back many years ago in 2004, which started out with just a couple rooms, just a seed, and now is this extraordinary healthcare facility that has just partnered with one of the other partners in the state or on Big Island, and now will be a healthcare system for community health work all across the Big Island. They now employ, I think it's well over 150 people just at the health center alone. Oh my God, 400 people? Holy cow. We started with 3 of us, and I was part-time. And that's just, again, about 18 years ago. So you can see in Hawaii how what you do, what you become, when you set your roots down here, how important you can be. In just a few short years, you can become a whole healthcare system. So I'm grateful to see you. I'm grateful to see you actually become a part of our healthcare solution where we have hundreds and hundreds of shortages all across the islands. You really are the healthcare future that we need. So I'd like to ask you just a small favor. Find in your heart what motivates you. Find in your heart what motivates you to care for people, and let that drive you. Let that start as you graduate today. In the coming weeks and months, you're going to find jobs, you're going to be recruited, you're going to be needed, and you are needed so badly. Each and every one of you is going to help thousands of people in our beautiful state, maybe back in Washington State, maybe in Oregon. But if I can ask you a favor as your lieutenant governor and perhaps as your next governor, please consider staying here, making this your home, caring those who have great need. We have individuals who are struggling with homelessness. We have individuals who have addiction through opioids and other crises that have confronted them. We have people with methamphetamine addiction. We have people that don't have access to a healthcare provider because we just don't have enough. And so what I do is I want to implore you, find your inspiration, who you'd like to care for. Take these excellent lessons that you've had in the last 2 years, translate them into saving lives, translate them into making Hawaii an even more extraordinary place to live, because we want this to be an era of healthcare for all in our beautiful state. So I am committed to working with you, to inspiring that next generation of healthcare people to stay in Hawaii. But if you can plant your roots here today, know that we will appreciate you forever. Again, you've had an excellent education. Your origin story will be slightly different than all others around you, but you will offer so much to us in healthcare. So from my heart, from Jamie, my wife, and my family, from Misko, from your faculty, we're so proud of you today. This is your day. Congratulations, and thank you for becoming healthcare professionals.
Thank you, Dr. Josh Green, Lieutenant Governor, and hopefully future Governor of the state of Hawaii. Before he goes, we want to recognize him for his efforts in helping to bring the MEDEX program to the state of Hawaii. Dr. Richard Smith is the founder of the MEDEX program, and in his honor, we have our highest award, known as the Medex Champion Award, for individuals who have risen to the highest level in supporting the MEDEX program. And so today we recognize Dr. Josh Green with the Medex Champion Award, Dr. Richard Smith's Medex Champion Award, the Multiply My Hands Award. Absolutely. And we recognize your busy schedule because you've got about, 10 weeks before the general election. And so we are going to excuse him from this for the rest of the day, but thank you for attending with us. So I forgot to introduce myself in the hurriedness of trying to get Dr. Green up here so he can get on with his day. But my name is Terry Scott, and I'm the program director for the MEDEX program. We are one of 5 campuses based out of Washington, Wyoming, Alaska, Montana, Idaho, and Hawaii. And Hawaii is our newest campus. This day is a great day. This is the day that we've all dreamed of. We are going to be graduating the first Kona class, and we are very, very proud of that. I will keep my remarks brief. I know it's hot out there, so I'll keep my remarks brief. I will say this, that it has been a tremendous effort on the part of many individuals to get this program established in the state of Hawaii. We're going to be recognizing some of those in attendance as the ceremony continues. But I'm happy to say that we wouldn't be here if we didn't have a talented faculty. And the talented faculty is the folks here locally who helped to get to this day as well by helping educate our students and helping ensure that their clinical year went well. And you can imagine what that might be like in the midst of a pandemic. It was in January of 2020 when we held our selection conference for candidates here at this hotel. Little did we know that within 3 months, the nation and the world would be shut down. At the same time, we were going through a process by which we were trying to get this campus accredited through our accrediting body. Well, we moved heaven and earth to get that done. It took a lot of effort on the part of many individuals, including our faculty, our staff, and we are here today to celebrate, despite all of those challenges, this graduating class. I want to compliment you on your resiliency, your tenacity in the midst of a pandemic. Going to PA school is difficult on a good day, let alone to think that you were able to accomplish this in the midst of a pandemic. So I compliment you on your resiliency. I'm happy now to hand the ceremony over to Caden Kelly, our campus coordinator or lead faculty person here in Kailua Kona, and he will lead us through the rest of the ceremony. Caden.
Can you hear me okay? All right. Aloha kakahiaka kako. Aloha. Good morning, everyone. I would like to welcome you all who are here and watching live to our celebration today. It is truly my honor to be speaking to the first ever University of Washington School of Medicine, Department of Family Medicine, MEDEX Physician Assistant Program, Kona Campus, Class 1 student graduation ceremonies today. Wow. You did it. I would like to take a few moments from you all to thank the many people who have been involved to getting you all to this point today. First, the administration and leadership at UW Medicine, DFM, and MEDEX Northwest. Here provided us the support necessary to establish the first PA program in the state of Hawaii. Second, the current and former principal faculty and staff at MEDEX Northwest, across all campuses really, who have guided your education since the first day you logged into Zoom in June 2020 and will likely to continue as you remember things people taught you along the way. To our community preceptors and clinical faculty who continue to support the growth of our campus year after year and have provided them with the most important tidbit of information that they need to know and every little clinical pearl that they need to know times 1,000. I would also like to acknowledge and thank the Kona faculty and staff. You all are amazing. We all know how difficult PA school is, and we chose to live it year after year. Your family, friends, and loved ones also deserve congratulations. They have supported you over the past 27 months, and they also, let's be honest, you could not have done it without their support. So in closing, the MEDEX program was born out of a serious shortage of physicians in 1969 by Dr. Richard Smith, who saw an opportunity to construct positive change in U.S. healthcare while simultaneously pushing for social justice in medicine. And the MEDEX Kona campus is exactly what that is. So congratulations to you all. I'm very proud of every single one of you. Without any further ado, because it is hot, I would like to bring to our podium our professor and department chair, Dr. Paul James.
Thank you, Professor Kelly. As the chair of the Department of Family Medicine, it's my great joy first to say aloha to all and to congratulate this historic class. In fact, let's think about it. You are going to be the people that future generations of PAs talk about, the pioneers, the ones who created the tradition. Muriel Rukeyser said, "The universe is not made up of atoms. It is made up of stories. Stories are those things which connect us to our humanity and to one another." Professor Scott asked me to give you your final lesson today. And there are three things I want you to remember about this final lesson. Number one is you are part of a very well-trained team. Number two, is that your education is enough, and it is enough to help others. And the third and most important message that I want to deliver to you today is how I expect you, from this day forward, to use one of the most powerful medicines of medicine, and that is hope. And that you not just give hope to others, but that you be that hope to others. Healthcare in America has become an extremely complex enterprise. It's not enough anymore to be smart. It's not enough to be caring, because you can be caring in a very uncaring system, and people may not feel the work you've done is worthwhile. But being part of an outstanding team is what's important. And it's really critical for me to highlight that the physician assistant profession was built on the concept of teamwork. So I would like to share with you one story, just one, that's going to teach you about the three things that I want you to remember. Teamwork, your training is enough, and hope. From my very first day of practice as a rural family doctor in my hometown, I had two physician assistants that worked with me. They were both Vietnam veterans, and they had a world of experience that I did not have, and they were important to my professional development. They allowed me to become the family physician that I am today. But I want to share with you a specific night. It was November. It was rainy. And it was a Friday evening when there was a high school football game. Because I was the small town doctor, I was the football team doctor. And my brother came to pick me up to go to the football game that evening. I want you to put yourself in this position, because from this day forward, this will be how you are tested. Not based on the exams, but what life presents to you. People's stories are occurring all around us. It's the people on the beach or the people in the restaurant, and they are on a course that's going to intersect with you, and they're going to ask you for help and healing, like I was asked that evening. So we were driving down the wet road to a football game when we see the spiraling lights of rescue vehicles and fire trucks, and very clearly there's a motor vehicle accident in front of us. My brother stops, and because he's a volunteer fireman and he was a farmer, he jumped out and quickly ran. And I thought, I need to collect my thoughts. I see the EMT and the fire trucks there. Do they really need the doctor? It was raining, I told you. Who wants to get out of the car? No. But I saw the highway patrol come back to radio for some additional help. So I jumped out and I asked him. And he said, oh my goodness, yes, they need your help. This young man just pulled out in front of his driveway, and a drunk driver hit him head on. He is still stuck in the wreckage. Okay, this is what you're trained for. I stepped from the darkness into the lights, and the only thing I heard was a whisper that was to a mother. And the whisper was, everything's going to be okay now. Dr. James is here. Ooh, that felt like a little pressure. You think your tests were tough? But I remembered the first lesson. I am well trained. ABCs, you all know them. Airway, breathing, circulation. I was pleased that the young man could respond to my questions. And the EMT was struggling to get IV access. The patient had wonderful veins, but they were rolling, and all the EMT needed was for me to hold the skin a little more tautly. And he was in the vein in no time. He smiled at me, and I smiled back. And within about 3 minutes, the jaws of life released the young man, and we were on our way to the hospital. Over the coming weeks, several people in this little town would come to me and thank me for something heroic that I had done. But I really felt a little ashamed about that because I had shared with you my reluctance to even get out of the rain. And I felt it was important to try to understand, because I think it was the mother that was telling everybody how wonderful I was. And I thought I would just listen to her. And so one day I had the chance to meet her, and I tried to explain to her that, wow, we were lucky that night. And she looked at me and she shook her finger, and she said she didn't know what that meant. Was that something like chance? And she said to me, if it is, that was exactly what I prayed for that night, a chance. I felt that if my son had access to someone knowledgeable who could do the things needed to help him, he would rise to the occasion and he would live. But even if he didn't, Dr. James, as a mother, just knowing I had help from health care was the chance I was looking for. And she said, Dr. James, you may not have noticed it, but we all felt despair. And when you came, it brought hope. I could feel it, and my son could feel it, and the whole team could feel it. And this is the importance of teamwork, because while I did something very small, the team did something very large. You are part of an important and caring profession, and your test in the future is to be part of those people's stories in the act of healing and helping. You are so well trained, and you are prepared. I am going to look forward to returning and hearing your stories of how you changed people's lives by virtue of the training you received here at MEDEX. You are a historic group. We are proud of you. Thank you for your efforts these last 2 important years. Keep up the good work, and we'll continue with our next program. Thank you all.
I would like to call to the stage our Kona Class 1 student speaker, Praylin Kaulanakahi Catchman.
All right, hello. Thank you, Caden. First, I want to acknowledge that we are on the traditional territory of the Hawaiian Kingdom, unified by Kamehameha the Great. Mahalo. It is my pleasure and honor to welcome my fellow classmates, families, faculty, to graduation day of first ever UW MEDEX cohort. Time really flew by. I can still see the 17 of us on our tiny faces on the computer screen. Carrie eating her untoasted dry bagel on her finger. Sinrita already with her hand up in the air asking a question. Rachel drinking her smoothies. And we have Devin with his what do you call it, the handlebar mustache already going on. Bring it back, man. I then stopped and I looked at myself and thought, I'm really stuck with these people for 2 years. Because typically I'm a shy person, an introvert, and asking for help never crosses my mind, especially asking these guys. I'd rather figure something out on my own, and if I never understood it, I'd think, I'll figure it out. I soon realized PA school, there is no later. It's either you get it now or you never get it at all. After falling behind a little bit, I must admit, I built the courage to ask for some help, and I soon understood that it's okay to ask for help. So like every broke and desperate college student, I asked my mom for some money. And as the semesters went on, it got increasingly harder and harder. There were papers, countless tests, CRAs, an endless barrage of deadlines to meet. However, by this time I felt like our class created a strong bond. We made our study groups, asking each other for answers on objective sets, and doing quizzes over Costco pizza and fresh sliced fruits by Chase. We were texting each other, what are we doing today? Or, hey, someone wake up Emerson. We made the best of our situation, and that's what I love about my class. There was no competition. There was no high school drama. Someone was always there when we needed to vent and needed help explaining a difficult concept. We looked out for each other and made sure we got through these past 2 years. 17 in, 17 out. I felt that we were put together to be pioneers of the first ever graduating class of PAs in Hawaii. There will be 100 more after us, but we are the first 17. I get a sense of pride saying that, and I hope my classmates feel the same. Not to brag, but I think we set a pretty good bar. What do y'all think? Yeah? Yeah. There we go. Yeah, I'm certainly optimistic. We all will make a difference. I am. Whether it be managing a patient's A1C, or helping someone with addiction, or inspiring future PAs, we will make a difference. I know making a change won't happen overnight, and for me, I know it won't. I will continue to sharpen my skills, building my toolbox, as many of my preceptors would say. But also I know that I could depend on any of my classmates for help. Because I know one day I'll wake up to a picture of an EKG saying, hey, pray, what is this? And I'll be like, Sinrita, that's torsades. Do something. The biggest thing I want to say is that you don't have to do things on your own. You can find greater success in life when you have the best supporting cast around you, especially with those that understand your story and have been a part of your journey. So if at any time the audience have questions about your well-being, or to vent, or just to talk story, you can always reach out to any 17 of us. Thank you. Back. So next I'm gonna introduce the class officers. So if you guys could just rise and wave if you want to. So AOR representative Nicole Starr Evans. AOR representative alternative Wendy Sue. Class historian Sinrita Pratap. Director of Community Outreach, Carrie Jade Colbert. Diversity Committee Chair, Chelsea Page Kern. And there's President Taylor Chong. Secretary Tiffany Tran. Social Director, Rachel Inoue. The money man, treasurer me. Vice President Andrew Miskovich. HOPA Student Representative Elizabeth Jimenez, not here today. And HOPA Student Representative Devin Tanaka. Thank you.
At this time, if it is possible to see, we will attempt to play the student class video.
Kona Class 1. Congratulations, we are all so proud of you. As a captain in the United States Air Force Reserve, serving as a PA at Joint Base Pearl Harbor Hickam, I have the distinct honor to recognize our service women and men and their families. I'd like to first recognize the history of our PA profession with the military, and then with the history of the state of Hawaii. As we know, the history of PAs is firmly rooted in the grounds of a shortage of primary care physicians. Our program's founder, Dr. Richard Smith, worked hard to leverage medically trained military personnel to re-enter civilian life as advanced practice providers through medical extension, also known as MEDEX. Dr. Smith traveled to military bases, recruiting corpsmen and Navy SEALs, and the first class of 15 began in 1969. Military acceptance is still a key part of the MEDEX mission. Our program accepts and educates the highest percentage of military veterans among civilian PA programs. As for Hawaii, Native Hawaiians have had a long and complicated history with the U.S. military, and many have had to balance a pride in service with a challenging past. I'd like to hold space for the Native Hawaiians and recognize their traditional stewardship of this land with great respect. Native Hawaiian and Pacific Islanders have been serving in the U.S. military since the War of 1812. During World War II, 2 segregated Japanese-American units from Hawaii were activated. The motto of the first unit was, "Go for broke," a phrase we're familiar with that means to put everything on the line. The second unit, the 100th Battalion, named themselves 1 Puka Puka, referring to the hole inside of the zeros in the number 100. These men were near Pearl Harbor when the Japanese struck, and this unit aided and assisted the wounded and selected as their motto, "Remember Pearl Harbor." Today, the combined unit of Japanese Americans is remembered as the most decorated unit for its size and length of service in the history of U.S. military. This unit of 18,000 men was awarded the Congressional Gold Medal, which is Congress's highest expression of national appreciation for their heroic service in World War II, leaving behind a record that is still untouched today. For those who have worn the uniform and taken the oath, the military requires unparalleled focus, discipline, and sacrifice. It requires rejecting mediocrity and doing things even when it's hard, with the knowledge that the reward of the journey made it all worthwhile. With each opportunity to test yourself, you become a little braver and a little bit stronger. You've overcome difficulties, you've conquered fears, and this takes grit. You've picked yourself up when you've fallen, and you could do it all over again, because in order to become part of a unit, you also learn to understand and trust yourself. Every day, American service members selflessly put their lives on the line to keep us safe and free. And I'm very proud to be among you. I'd like to honor all current and former military men and women. Would you and any family members please stand so we can honor your service with a round of applause? Thank you very much.
Good morning, everyone. Congratulations, guys. This is a huge, huge day, and we all are really, really proud of you. My name is Margot Carr. I am a PA, and I am the clinical coordinator for our Kona campus. It is my absolute pleasure to introduce the MEDEX Kona Campus Inaugural Recipients for the Golden Apple Awards. The Golden Apple recognizes exceptional preceptors and their contributions to the training of future PAs in Hawaii. Nominations are made by the students themselves, and recipients are selected by the clinical team for each respective campus. These individuals have made an enormous impact on the lives of our students, both directly and indirectly in ways that students may not even be aware of themselves. The recipients of this award display unwavering commitment to the teaching of students, their respective communities in which they serve, and have supported endlessly our PA training program here in Kona. It is my great honor to present this award to our first of two recipients. Our first, Mr. Jeremy Creekmore. Jeremy is a board-certified psychiatric nurse practitioner and owner of a private practice on Oahu. He is a brain treatment specialist at Brain Health Hawaii and a U.S. Army veteran that continues to work very closely with the U.S. Armed Forces. He is an enthusiastic, dedicated teacher that notices and approaches constructively student strengths and weaknesses. His passion for his community and across the islands for the mental health needs of the patients he serves is truly empathetic, compassionate, and genuine. Will everyone please help me in honoring the first of two Golden Apple recipients, Mr. Jeremy Creekmore. Our second recipient, Dr. Craig Shikuma, wasn't able to attend this ceremony today, but he does send all of you a very warm aloha and congratulations. Dr. Shikuma practices with Big Island Healthcare in Hilo, which is a privately owned clinic offering internal and family medical care to the community. Dr. Shikuma has a long-standing history of activism and has dedicated much of his life to improve the healthcare needs as well as the quality of life to those of the community he serves. I am delighted to accept this award on his behalf, and we'll get it to him as soon as possible. I also wanted to take a moment to recognize Ali'i Health Center and Dr. Carla Knoll. They just really jumped into this year and in collaboration with our program, 2 feet all the way into the deep end, and made a huge difference in the lives of students just recently this year. Thank you. All right, and I get to be the first to start us off with student awards. So the first award that's going to go to one of our students is the John B. Coombs Award for Exemplary Leadership. This award, one moment. Dr. John Coombs was the Associate Dean for Regional Affairs and Rural Health in the School of Medicine, had a long record of promoting the PA profession. This award is presented to a student who became a role model to their peers, having assumed some of the responsibilities of leadership during their training and having carried out those responsibilities with integrity, cooperation, and understanding. Please help me in congratulating Mr. Devin Tanaka.
Aloha, I'm Luna Knoll, PA and faculty with the MEDEX program here in Kona. It's my honor to award the Kona Underserved Service Award. This award recognizes and encourages service in and dedication to underserved communities. Please help me in congratulating Mr. Andrew Miskovich.
It is now time to honor the Spirit of Medex Award. This award goes to the student who demonstrates the mission and our purpose here at MEDEX Northwest, which is to replicate the hands of our founder, Dr. Richard Smith. I am pleased to accept this award on behalf of Elizabeth Jimenez, who could not make it to graduation today.
Yay, Liz!
The Stephen Turnipseed PAC Veterans Award. This award recognizes a MEDEX student who is a military veteran for demonstrating outstanding leadership within the MEDEX class and exceptionally meritorious service within the local community. This award will be presented only at didactic sites and in years when the faculty identify an appropriate recipient. It is my honor to present this to James Wynn.
Aloha mai kākou. I'm Dr. Kehao Kong, one of the faculty members for MEDEX, and I just want to say you guys look absolutely fabulous. Congratulations. I have the great honor to award the Student Writing Award, and all of you that had me as your capstone person know that I am into writing, so congratulations to these two. The award is given to students from various campuses who have combined creativity and unique approaches with exceptional writing skills in assigned papers. We have two awardees today, and they are Carrie Colbert and Chelsea Kern.
Congratulations to all the awardees. We're going to flex one more time in the agenda to recognize a few Medex Champions. In addition to Dr. Green, there are several other folks in attendance here today who were very instrumental in getting this program here in the state of Hawaii. And oftentimes folks will recognize that in the last 5 years, it may seem that something like this just occurred, but it takes many, many years of dedication and conversations. And so in the audience today, we would like to recognize some of the Medex Champion, the highest award we give to those who have risen to the highest level of supporting the program. The first individual happens to be a graduate of the Medex program, and he's a graduate over 21 years ago. I first came to the islands as a clinical coordinator, visiting him doing his clinical rotations on the island. Ever since then, we've had multiple graduates, multiple individuals from the islands come to the program, and each and every one has continued conversations about why can't MEDEX put a program in the islands. And so today I want to recognize PA Darren Helliga as a Medex Champion. If you're in the audience, would you please come forward? I would also like to recognize a few more individuals. One individual that was very instrumental in helping to update the state law in Hawaii is a former legislator, Brenda Ford. If you're in the audience, would you please come forward? When we started the efforts to establish the campus here in Hawaii, it was Brenda Ford, as a former legislator from the Big Island, who recognized the importance of updating the Practice Act in the state of Hawaii. As you might imagine, you can graduate as many PAs as you want, but if the practice environment isn't healthy, they will not stay because they have many other options. And it was Brenda Ford who recognized, as a former legislator in the state, that, you know, we need to have that law improved. And so she was one of those individuals who went to work working with the state PA Society to improve the state law in the state of Hawaii. There's more work to do, but we thank her as a Medex Champion for her efforts to help improve the environment here. We also want to recognize a physician in the state who was a mover and a shaker, who without his efforts, we would not have had this campus here in Hawaii as well. He is someone who has a compassion for homeless care, for the underserved in the state, and is an individual who walks the walk, not just talk the talk. And so, Scott Miskovich, would you please come up and be recognized as a Medex Champion? Thank you. I would also like to recognize that there are some previous Medex champions who have received their awards in previous years, but they were done so at their residence, and I would like to recognize them if they're here. So would Claire and Eugene Yap, if you are in the audience, would you please stand and be recognized as a Medex champion? These folks were, thank you. These folks were co-chairs of our community advisory board, and it was their support that allowed us to also establish this campus. And speaking of our campus, I want to recognize that this community embraced the MEDEX program in the University of Washington. And a Mr. Larry Sakamoto, who many in this community may recognize because the campus is located on the grounds of his former electrical company. This gentleman offered up this campus to us, and I remember him saying just purposefully to us, he's not interested in making money off the MEDEX program, and he gave us a cut rate deal on the campus. He allowed us to refurbish it and update it, and so for those who have opportunity later today, I hope that you will go by the campus and take a look at that. But it was Mr. Sakamoto who offered this campus to us with a house on the campus, so when faculty come from the main campuses in Seattle, they would have a place to land. And so I want to thank Mr. Sakamoto and recognize him as a MEDEX champion as well. I don't believe he's in attendance, but we will ensure that he gets this award as well. But I want to just give a round of applause to Mr. Sakamoto because he offered up the grounds for our campus. Now, having said that, we now get to the part of the ceremony that we've all been waiting for, and that's the conferring of the certificates. We're going to get everyone in positions here, and graduates, I think you all know what to do, right? And we're going to get this on. I might also say, folks, we do have hydration stations at various points. Please stay hydrated because it is hot out here today. And for those of us from Washington, it is extraordinarily hot.
So if Kona class, Oh, yes, just like last night. So if Kona class 1 could please stand. We are proud of every single one of you. Make us Medex Kona proud, and we are proud to soon call you all our colleagues. Give us a few moments as we get into position. And graduates, if you could walk around there, and they are all in alphabetical order. How awesome. Kenji Ashman. Photo.
This one thing? Okay. This one thing? Thank you. Thank you.
Taylor Chong. Carrie Colbert. Nicole Starr Evans. Rachel Inoue. Praylin Kalanakahi Ketchman. Well done. Chelsea Paige Kern. Emerson Lau. Andrew Miskovich. Gonna need a banana bag. You're gonna need a banana bag. An IV bag of fluids. James Wynn. No, James. 1 Mississippi, 2. Anina Marie Pierce. Sinrita Pratap.
Thank you, Katie.
Don't forget to Chase Kiyoshi Ruano. Don't forget your picture. Devin Tomotsu Tanaka. Tiffany Tran. Oh. Where'd she go? Oh, I think they're switching. There's Jim. Wendy Zhu. I would also like to acknowledge Elizabeth Jimenez, who could not make it today, who is also a part of Kona Class 1. Congratulations.
So graduates, would you please stand? Turn and face the audience. Recognize any of those loved ones of yours who have supported you over the last couple of years. And on behalf of the University of Washington's MEDEX program, I proudly present to you the first graduating class of MEDEX Kona Class 1. Where's the Kuna? Is he going to do the Oli? Yes. Okay, why don't you do that first?
Congratulations. You may be seated. I would like to call to the stage Kumu Ke'alaching for our closing Oli.
Ole ho ti mai, ka mai ke ola kuma e.